Join me as I explore the exciting world of model railways with behind-the-scenes features, step-by-step tutorials, interviews, videos, reviews and much, much more. I'm Dawn Quest and I love building model railways. In this episode, I'm here in Maidstone for the Maidstone and Mid-Kent Model Railway exhibition. I've arrived early because I'm not just filming, I'm also exhibiting. So half an hour to go, everyone's busy setting up. Now, some of the comments I often get are, at the shows we see a lot of double O gauge, a lot of N gauge, but where's the O gauge, where's the G gauge? Well, at this show you're in for a treat because there's not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 O and G gauge layouts like this one. It's not hard to understand their appeal. They're big, they're bold, they're beautiful. And it's a real thrill to see them up close, part of a private collection brought here today by Keith Palmer and friends.
They're all American outline, and some are powered through the track, some are powered with a radio control. But they're designed to be used outside, mainly in the garden. So to keep the track clean on a big layout is a real pain. So radio control is very good because they don't take track power. I've collected them for probably 5 years now, and I've always loved American outline stuff. I suppose it's the design, the size of the vehicle, the actual locomotives is amazing. I've seen a real big boy in the States and it is enormous. You just you couldn't imagine how big they are. And it's just something about them, I suppose. The Americans always do it bigger and better than anybody else.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop right there. Now, rewind. I think the team over at Invicta Gauge 1 might have something to say about that. They're here with their incredible and impressive British live steam and electric mainline and branch line. And of course, big trains need a big team. Oh, hello. They're popping up all over the place. What makes for such fascinating viewing is watching the coal being fed into the engine. Result, steam. I could have watched that all day. And where there's steam, there's even more steam. And of course, a brilliant display of locos. Other large-scale locos here today are Queen Charlotte Dock from the East Kent O-Gauge Guild and Ranscombe Lawn, a representation of a narrow-gauge railway in steam. So there's the O-Gauge and the G-Gauge, and of course a video of mine wouldn't be complete without some double O-Gauge and some N-Gauge like QV. An N-scale layout of a German-Belgian border area with the old QV station building by Brian and Yvonne Chapman. QV started life as a summer layout. Now winterized, what's so striking about this layout is the use of blue lighting, which creates a beautiful, magical effect on the snow. And if you think you've seen QV before in another of my videos, you're right. It was featured in my Inside the Model Railway Club video of the Headcorn Model Railway Group. Also in N-Gauge, small and working, last seen at the Woolwich show. Always a crowd pleaser, I caught up with their creator, Ian. So I have the real pleasure of speaking to Ian Redman, owner of Small and Working. Small and Working, I've seen them around on the circuits, but it's the first time I get to chat with you, Ian. Such a pleasure.
Thanks.
Tell me about all these fabulous layouts. Where did the idea first come from?
The idea came around about the end of 2005. I belong to a club that do modular layouts, 4-foot modules. You can build so many of those and storage becomes a problem, as you would know, with your layout. So I decided to build one in the case and I've never stopped since. So I've got up to 50 now. So 50 wow. Layouts now. And there's only a small selection here today.
Lovely.
So I enjoy doing them and I also make for people as well.
50 layouts, where do you store them all?
They're all going to really useful boxes in a new shed which I purchased this year actually. So they were just stacked on top. Because the beauty of the really useful boxes, you can stack them. Mm-hmm. So all this lot will go into 3 boxes tomorrow night, back at home, back in the shed, ready for the next show. Which
was your first layout?
My first one I haven't got here today, but I have got the second one, which is the Japanese one with the overheads. But my first one was a town scene, double track. I thought I'd go double track first and see how it goes. With a church. It all started with a church I bought from the club shop, and it all started from there. I've got a little village, a little town, little houses with people.
Whenever I see Small and Working at a show, it's always surrounded by people, a real crowd pleaser. What do you think it is about your layouts that makes people want to come and see and take a look?
I think it's because it is in a small container, a small case and things like that. And I think that people can actually do that. They say, "Oh, I've got a case at home. I'm going to have a go at that." It inspires people to have a go if they've never done railways before. And I always tell them how to do it. I always give them my business card to say, "Look, if you want any advice, I'm at the end of an email." Doesn't do help each other, does it?
No.
In the hobby.
Yeah.
We all need help sometimes, including me when I first started. And I think also the Lego ones for the kids. We want the kids to enjoy the hobby. We want the young ones to keep the clubs going, because if the club fails, some clubs close down, which they are, it's gone, isn't it?
And my advice to anyone, if you have a chance to come and see Small and Working layouts, if they're coming to a show near you, do come down, do see them, because they're a real treat. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you. Cheers.
As Maidstone is in the heart of Kent, you might well expect to see some layouts representing the area. From the mid-1800s, Kent saw the arrival of hundreds of workers every summer from London who came down to work picking hops. And this is represented by Fritton Road, an O-gauge layout based on early 20th century mixed trains.
So a gorgeous layout set around the theme of hop picking in Kent, East Sussex. But there's another hop pickers layout, and it's over there. Come on, run, pick up your feet.
You having a laugh?
And it's this one.
Bletchinghurst by Steve Fryer, here today with his grandson Bradley. A real family affair, much like Steve's memories of hop picking in Kent when he was a child.
We got a country station which is based on Hawkhurst. I found a plan for Hawkhurst Station, and I decided I like the look of that because it's a nice East Kent type station. So I built that. Most of the buildings are made of card. The pub come from another layout, and it's about 35 years old, but it's still going. And I think the most expensive item on there, apart from the rolling stock, was the Oast House. But I'd like to build a scratch-built one eventually.
We're racing through the gauges now. High Peak is another 00 gauge here today. And also Swanage. And the last of the 00 gauges here today is my own briefing counter. No, don't adjust your laptops or screens, it's monochrome, on its second ever outing. One question I often get asked in comments is whether I film Briefing Counter in black and white. Well, here it is, filmed in full colour, so you can see for yourself. Brace yourselves now from monochrome to full-on Technicolor, and it's Rainbow Rock by Charlie Fox Wilson. Over to you, Charlie.
There's two tracks and an underground, and they all join together, and it's quite nice to be able to stand back and watch it go round. It's taken me about 6 years. I did it in 2 stages. The first bit was the corner pieces, and the second was COVID shutdown. I was able to build an extension to it. People say that if they don't walk away with a smile on their face, there's something wrong with the person looking. It's all fun.
I couldn't have put it better myself. It's all just great fun, as the crowds today would no doubt agree. There's been lots of inspiration, lots to buy and take home.
Dawn, you've forgotten something.
Have I what?
New Chapel Junction.
Where's that then?
It's the 55-foot O-gauge layout over there. It takes up 1/4 of this entire exhibition space, and it's not even the whole layout. They've only bought part of it.
How did I miss that then? Well, we better go and see it, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm joined by Steve Wilkins, owner of this huge layout, New Chapel Junction. Been seen on YouTube, and in the flesh, so to speak, it is really, really impressive. Steve, what a great layout. Tell me a little bit about it. Where did it start? How did it start?
Well, this layout started slightly over 30 years ago. It's changed in format since. One or two of the baseboards are, in fact, 32, 33 years old. On the other hand, the main station is only 5 years old, and the branch line bridge just beside me is about 2 years old. So the layout is constantly evolving.
And we'll talk about this bridge in just a minute because there's a lot of work just went into this one small section. We'll come to that. But I think you set yourself a bit of a challenge this weekend, wasn't it? Tell me. You told me earlier.
Well, our main challenge is to get through an exhibition with no faults or failures of any description and no derailments. Well, I have to admit, this weekend it's not gone quite as well as we would have liked. We've had one or two minor derailments, very minor, and we've had an electrical fault on the turntable.
Always the way, always something.
But it only took 10 minutes to find the fault and fix it. But all the same, it failed our ambition.
Oh dear, never mind. There's always next time. And I understand New Chapel Junction is 55 foot long.
Yes.
Did you imagine it was going to be this size when you first started?
Oh, I think so, yes, because a former layout was a very similar length. I think, in fact, we've caused it to grow by about another 3 feet. But no, we always planned on it being about between 50 and 60 feet long. We don't want to exceed 55 feet because it wouldn't fit the smaller sports halls.
Exactly. And we haven't even seen some of this layout. The branch part is missing today, is that right?
Yes, the branch line is not with us this weekend. It doesn't alter the length, but it makes the layout 22 feet wide, whereas what's here today is only 15 feet wide.
What is it about the large layout that you really like building?
Well, to my mind, the large layouts, particularly in O gauge, they represent a model of a railway rather than just a model railway. You can actually run trains prototypically, block sections, block signalling, working semaphore signals. It is a model of a railway, and that is our ambition.
And how many locos can you have running on this at once?
Well, on the move at once, potentially about 7 different parts of the layout. In practice, at least 5. There's probably 20 locomotives here today, about 100 wagons, and bogie coaching stock and bogie van stock, probably about 25. So yes, there's a lot of vehicles here, but there's a long layout for them to run on.
That's true, and it really does look great. I mean, you just look at it, you have to see it to really, really appreciate it, I think. But yes. This little part here, the newest part of your layout.
Oh, the new bridge.
And you were talking to me earlier about this. Tell me, how many rivets is it again?
Well, my brother did the riveting on the girders. I understand there's about 2,000 rivets on it.
2,000 rivets.
Yes.
And the beauty of it, you and I know, when you create a layout, some of the best bits you can't see, but you just know that they're there and you really appreciate it.
The handrails are all lathe turned and the square sections put on in a milling machine, drilled up the base with a 1mm drill and then sitting on small pieces of piano wire into the bridge girders, and then piano wire as the handrails along. That all took quite a while. My brother did all the brickwork and the piers and, as we've said, the girders, but the track laying, the wiring and the banks I did. My brother persevered and got the river to look about right.
I love the river. He used Aquamagic, is that right?
I believe he did, yes.
A product I haven't yet used, but I will be using at some point.
Yes.
And you did the grass, which
yes,
I know
did
you're
the grass.
particularly proud of.
Yes, I like the grass. It's great
it
fun.
Looks really lovely,
yes.
Really lovely. I just can't believe how much detail went into that. And it just looks fantastic, really fits really nicely.
Oh, thank you.
What have you made of the show today so far? Has it drawn the attention that you've wanted it
to? Yes. We've had a lot of interest shown in the layout today, and it's been a thoroughly nice show to be at. We're very pleased to be here.
Lovely. And how many vehicles did it take to transport New Chapel Junction here today?
Well, it takes a 2-ton trailer and a Land Rover, a 1-ton trailer pulled by another car, and another estate car, just to bring this layout here. If the branch line is with us as well, I'm afraid that's another estate car and another trailer.
So a real production.
It's quite a fleet of vehicles.
Lovely, lovely.
But it's cheaper than hiring a lorry.
That's true, that's true. So day 1, a huge success. Looking forward to day 2.
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks for talking to me
That's
today.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So it's been a brilliant first day. The second time I've exhibited Brief Encounter Can't wait till day 2 tomorrow.
If you like this video, please like, share and of course subscribe, and please hit the bell to be notified of all my future videos.